she's going to want to definitely look at all this, and she's going to have questions and, depending on if we're still in the same house or.
I was going to say, don't say married. Yeah. And also in the same house.
No, like together. Or did we move together somewhere else?
Depending upon all these things.
Oh my gosh.
I'm wondering about your commitment.
Okay.
I'm thinking about, are you really in this? Okay. I need proof. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Am I really in this? Yeah. You asked my ligaments.
Yeah.
How in this I am.
Episode 15.
Episode 15.
Okay. So what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about how it feels so real to be at this point in the pregnancy.
So we went to the hospital and we did a tour of the hospital, and we're both physicians, but we did a tour of the hospital. I'm not going to say that a part of me was like, what am I doing here? I will be honest with you.
I know. Yeah, because we did do a like a birthing class. That's what we did.
They were telling us about how the anesthesiologist was going to walk into the room, and I was like, okay, I remember that during residency and the epidural and the this and the that, and I was like, okay, I am not going to sit here and act like I know everything. Yeah. I'm going to listen. But
well, I also, like, someone asked, like, we had an opener and someone asked me, like, oh, have you ever been like with someone who was giving birth before? And I was like, no, never. And you were like, what are you talking about? You've totally done this.
Which lets me know that you're totally mentally a patient right now.
Yes. That's you don't know that like.
you've transitioned completely out of the medical space. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't work in a hospital anymore either. So it's like I'm so far removed that being there was like, oh my God.
Yeah, the time that I changed from, I guess, physician to patient was when we walked by the operating room, and I was like, okay, I'm now thinking about all of the potential complications. And then I even ended up having like a really weird dream after that. Like it was more like a nightmare when you really think about it. I had a dream that like I couldn't find you and you were pregnant, and I was like searching, and by the time I found you, I was like, I don't know where she went. And then I was talking to my mom. I was like, I don't know. And it was just like a big, like, and then I woke up and you were sitting there snoring. I was like, okay, everything's fine.
Or not breathing, actually.
Oh, no, you have a little sleep apnea now. Yeah.
Lots of pressure on my lungs.
Yeah. So you got a little bit of sleep apnea. Baby girl is like, pushing up.
Yep.
Right. And then, throat is pushing backwards.
I know. All of this. Yeah.
And so I transitioned to a patient when we saw the OR. You've been a patient mentally because you're experiencing things that you haven't experienced.
No, I feel like my body is not mine at this point.
You said you felt like an old lady.
I do feel like an old lady because when I get up, it takes me a few steps. Like I groan when I get up. It's like, oh, okay. First my back, then my leg. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this hurts. And it takes me a few steps to like get going.
I try to bring you sweets and things like to try to like make the day easier. And like you groan when you see the sweets too. You said, what's the emoji? And I was like, she sounds like a trucker.
That's not how.
What you got there, caramel? I was like, that's my wife. She's different now.
No, that didn't happen.
What you got there? Candy apples.
It's only when I... You're such a liar. It's only when I stand up and then when I'm laying down, I'm trying to like turn.
No,
it's just hard.
I mean, that's fair. Like if you had to move like a big weight from your belly, your center of gravity is like forward now.
I know.
So you have
to strap like a watermelon to you and like all day so you can kind of see what it feels like.
I mean, after a while, I'm probably going to start changing positions, shifting. But you know what? I do have a couple of questions from the family, though.
Oh.
I do. Question number 1. Do you waddle now?
Yeah. I do. I try really hard not to waddle.
Yeah.
But if I don't think about it, I 100% I'm like this.
Yeah.
I walk.
Yeah. Little penguin, little empress.
Penguin. I think when your brother was here, I was walking towards you guys and he noticed it too. And I was like, just like waddling towards you. So yes, I definitely waddle.
Well, question number 2 is, have you developed the skill of picking things up with your toes yet?
Oh, I've had that skill.
No, but I mean, I haven't seen you use it.
Oh, I do. Yeah. It's
So you do the grab and pull up. I've never seen you bring your foot up.
It's easier to bring my foot up. Like if I need to grab, like if I drop something on the floor, it's easier to pick it up with my foot than it is to engage my core, squat down, and pick it up. Because I'm like trying not to get my muscles to separate more than they're going to separate.
Yeah.
So it's easier to then just get my foot to me versus going the other way.
Another question we have is, how have you been doing with stretch marks?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. All just like my ones from when I was a teenager.
No new stretch marks.
No new stretch marks from the pregnancy.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of Vaseline.
Yeah, no, you've basically loosened your skin in the first trimester in preparation for second and third.
Yeah. Did a lot of, and until this day, I put lotion on like twice a day, thick body butter with Vaseline on top of it. So
okay.
So far, no.
Next question is, have you developed any hyperpigmentation anywhere?
No.
No? Okay.
Thankfully.
So you've had, these are some of the common questions, but the most, I think 10% or so of pregnant ladies, they'll end up getting the ligament pain or so.
Have that.
Yeah, ligament pain.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's
a groin pain.
Oh my God, that is horrible. Yeah, sneezing is hard. And moving, just like getting up and moving. That's what makes me feel like I'm an old lady. Yeah. Yeah, the moving part.
Yeah.
So, but I'm starting PT on Tuesday, so I'm super excited about that.
Yeah. We, little girl doesn't know that mommy's having a really, difficult time carrying her around.
Yeah.
And that's where some of the expectation for understanding comes from. Like, do you even know that we did all these things to bring you here? And it's just like, we're in labor. You carried me around.
Great. Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I know. Now you're about to go to PT to continue this. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can move around easier with you.
And we used the ultrasound recently, and we looked at her.
Yes, we did.
And she was sucking her thumb or something like that.
And like opening her mouth. Apparently, she's like tasting the fluid and breathing in there too. So she was doing all of that, and her head is now at the bottom.
Yeah, that's just good.
Flipped on over.
Yeah, she's thinking about getting out of here.
Yeah, she is. Oh my gosh, it's coming in less than 2 months.
That's the point of this.
I know
we're getting closer. It's like this is getting more real. Mm-hmm. We've done 15 episodes of this process.
Yeah.
And so now we're just kind of, what else makes it feel more real?
People said that I would start nesting. And
that's fun. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, sure.
So we looked outside. We bought a birdhouse, and there's a little chickadee, a chickadee that we looked at it this morning, 8:00. Chickadee goes to the birdhouse, drops something off, goes out, flies away 10 minutes, back, drops something off, flies away. And it was just doing this process all day, every day. And I had to think about you and straightening up the house, like randomly, just not really. You were just moving books from one place to another.
I know. I was like, I moved books in her room from one bookshelf to a different bookshelf. Why? I don't know.
Because the ladies say that the more you start preparing the nest, the more, the closer we are.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
And so you're nesting.
Yeah.
You're getting your little twigs in the right order.
Yeah. And I want like everything where it's going to be easy to get to when she gets here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So things that have made it real, seeing the OR, because we don't know if we are going to have to do a scheduled, C-section or a vaginal birth. We're kind of like in the middle of it all.
Yeah.
Things that made it real, nesting. You're starting to be a little chickadee, so you're kind of moving your little twigs around. The waddle, shake it.
Yeah.
Oh, Waddle, waddle. We also have seen some new pains, some new groans.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. And then what about for you?
What makes it real for me? See, honestly, that the OR, because of my background, anesthesiology, I'll say this. 99.99 whatever, all the labor and deliveries, the scheduled C-sections are fine. You get the epidural if it's vaginal, and then you get the spinal if it's C-section. It's uneventful the majority of the times.
Yeah.
My brain would not accept that when I went to sleep.
Yeah.
And all I thought about was everything that could go wrong. And I was just like, okay, that gave me a little piece of your brain because now, like, your body, the risks that you're walking around with, now I'm like, okay, this is probably what she's been trying to suppress.
Well, also, I think, we haven't been in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't been admitted to the hospital ever. We've worked there.
Yeah.
And that's about it. So now being on the other side of it as a patient, being like, this is going to be your room when you stay here with us. I'm like, why am I voluntarily going to this hospital?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
You want to just do this like at home. Like, you want to
no,
just
I don't
figure it
wanna.
out with
No.
I can.
Nope.
I'll do it. No. All right. You tell me and we'll just go, old school.
No, I know it's necessary, but it is wild that it's like I'm voluntarily going to the hospital for something, So even when I had my knee done, it was like an outpatient thing. I came home the same day.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to have to stay there. And it's just completely different.
Trust people.
Trust people.
You have to trust people that don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
And we have to trust that they have our best interests at heart. We know how we would take care of people. We have no idea how it is on the other side.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. I have to trust that these people will actually see you for who you are and not as another day at the office.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is I've heard good things about this hospital.
Yeah.
A lot of people I know have given birth here, and they've given birth here and at other places. Yeah. And they have nothing but
positive,
the best things to say. Yeah. So I'm hoping that it all goes well.
Do you have any questions for me other than, the what makes it real, or?
Do I have any questions for you? So when you were putting together the crib, you've put together a lot of like big furniture. So you put together the crib, you put together the rocker, the changing table. Did it feel real then?
I felt like I was in an album, like a picture album. And I was in the scene. Yeah. And so I know that I'm going to look back on all this and I'm going to feel the time, And so,
well, I think about like my baby album and your baby album, and just like, Dad got off of work and he's still in his work clothes and he's like putting my stuff together. Like, she's going to want to definitely look at all this, and she's going to have questions and, depending on if we're still in the same house or.
I was going to say, don't say married. And also in the same house.
No, like together. Did we move together somewhere else?
Depending upon all these things.
Oh my gosh.
I'm wondering about your commitment.
Okay.
I'm thinking about, are you really in this? Okay. I need proof. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Am I really in this? Yeah. You asked my ligaments.
Yeah.
How in this I am. Yeah. Okay. And then get back to me.
Here's one last thought. Do you feel that if you have to do a C-section or if you have to do vaginal, do you feel that it would take away from what you expected it to be?
So they initially told me I may have to do a C-section. Yeah. So initially I think like I was talking to my mom about this. Yeah. Like 95% of me is fine either way. I want baby to get here. Yeah. And be healthy, and that's it. I think 5% of me, if I went the C-section, or if I had to go the C-section route, it would be, I would feel like I missed out a little bit on the rush of it all. Like, oh no, my water broke, or whatever, however it works normally.
You're thinking about the movies.
I'm thinking about the movies.
Yeah, like, and then Dad, I'm supposed to like run to the minivan and be like and I drive off with you and you're like, hey, and then I'm like, and I reverse. No, I'm not gonna.
Well, when I said this to my mom was like, okay, listen, you're not missing out on anything. Do you want to know the best part of like my birth experience was when I got my episiotomy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh,
it's real.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she had both of us like natural. So.
Yeah. But the other thing is that like the trial of labor after C-section like is still available if but most people I don't know if there's expectations on the woman's side, but I don't think there's maybe the comment section is going to tell me, do guys care if they're women, if they're significant others? No, but you know what I mean? Like in the sense of, do they have an opinion on whether vaginal birth or C-section makes the experience more complete?
I do think there's a big push right now online for natural deliveries.
But who's driving? Is this like women or is this men? Because I think I stayed off of TikTok just because like, I'm trying to be in the gym more often. I want to like stay in shape. And so anyways, but you think women are driving it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, I'm going to do whatever I want.
Well, it's about the health of the mother and the baby. Yeah. And like that's.
But people also have so many opinions about how you raise your kids and so it really doesn't matter what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
So but there is a big push for natural birth, but I'm going to do whatever my doctor, who we trust very much. Yeah. Whatever she says, I'm going to do.
Yeah. And so I was just curious about that, like, if that were something. So for me personally, I care about the health of my wife. I care about the health of my baby, and I don't care about rushing to the hospital. I'd much rather not rush and do everything like, I just really don't want I don't want you to have a difficult recovery. That's what I'm thinking about. I don't want you to have like, you tore your ACL, you had a year of recovery for that. Then you're dealing with the pregnancy, and that's real work on the body, real stress on the body, real pain, real difficulties, fatigue, etc. So I just don't want any more stuff.
Yeah. They did say like the recovery with the C-section's worse because it's abdominal surgery.
So you said wish denied, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think as long as we're safe, I'll recover from it at some point. It's going to happen. Many women have had C-sections and done fine. So.
Some women prefer it.
Sure.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard. So like I didn't do an OB, fellowship or anything like that. So all I recall are my days where I was just doing, my normal training. And so I hear all the conversations. I do know that if we go vaginal, if that's the path or whatever, this whole epidural, like, strength thing, like who cares? Just take it when you want it.
Yeah.
And don't wait forever, because it's a lot easier to get ahead of it. I'll just say that it's a lot easier to get ahead of it. And then, what else? Expectations of family members. Like, whenever people come in and say, oh, you need to do this or you need to do that, those words don't exist. Yeah. And then lastly is advocating for yourself. I'm of course your advocate. And so if you feel something's wrong, there's something wrong. Yeah. If you feel that you're not being heard, you're not being heard. What you feel is the truth. Yeah. And it's up to me to make sure that you don't have to try your hardest to be heard.
Well, I'm also thinking about, in the United States, maternal mortality is very high compared to other other first world countries. So I do think about that. And so that's why I'm really happy that you're going to be there. And then my mom's also going to be there, who are both healthcare professionals. And then I'm a healthcare professional. So I would hope with all three of us advocating.
Well, you're not going to be there. You're not going to be a healthcare professional in your brain.
Right. Yeah.
You're going to be a patient.
Okay. So two of you are going to be on, ready and watching for everything. So it's going to be necessary because unfortunately we're in America for this.
Well, and also there's a known statistic that being a minority, your complaints tend to be written off.
Yeah. But
as
our whole team so far is a minority team.
Yeah.
So, that's not
you'll be seen the way you need to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did that on purpose.
Yeah. Well, that's necessary because the data shows that there is discrepancy, and we've seen it in our family. Family members who have not been heard, and they should have been heard, because outcomes were worse.
Yep.
Because they weren't heard.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I will be there, and yes, there will be a piece of me that will be difficult to handle if I don't feel.
Yeah. Which it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then thankfully also this hospital is a baby friendly hospital.
But yeah, I'm thinking about the other side.
Yeah.
Where we are going to be and where God will keep us is on a path of, healthy, happy, heard.
Yes.
The 3 H's.
The 3 H's.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Triple H. That's all I'm looking for. Healthy, happy, and heard.
Yeah.
Give me those 3 and let's get out of there. I'm not trying to hang out with y'all forever.
Nope. I don't think they want us there forever either. So let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anything that we're missing on this one?
No, I don't think so. I think that's it.
Well.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
I'm happy to have you by my side through this, especially the last week or so. It's kind of been very real and very nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Well, without you, there is no me. That's the name of the game. So, yeah. So we are in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All righty. Episode 15.
Episode 15.
Yeah.